Yeah.
Good afternoon and welcome to the City of Quinte West Committee of Adjustment meeting. The committee is made up of 5 members. I'm a public member. My name is Harm Zelstra and I'll be the chair this evening. And on my immediate left is public member Doug Phillips. On his left, public member Paul Lafferty. And his left, public member David Jesse. And on our far left is Councillor Jim Ellier. On my immediate right is Anne Marie Cunningham. She's the Committee of Adjustment Coordinator. And on her right is Kelly West, Manager of Planning Services. Because this is a hearing under the Planning Act, when the committee gets to the applications for consideration, each application will be brought up in the order listed on the agenda with an opportunity for public input given prior to discussion and consideration by the committee. If you wish to make a comment, please raise your hand to be recognized by the chair. Consent decisions made tonight will have a last day of appeal of May the 29th, 2025, and minor variance decisions made tonight will have a last day of appeal of May the 28th, 2025. If anyone wishes to receive a copy of one of the notices of decision, please use the pad of paper provided by the sign-in sheet to indicate your name, mailing address, or email address, and which decision you would like a copy of, and it will be sent to you. If anyone has not signed in on the sign-in sheet, please do so, as this is used for the minutes of the meeting. Do I have any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Hearing none. Could I have approval of the agenda for this evening? Moved by Doug, seconded by David. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And approval of the minutes of April the 10th, 2025. Moved by Paul, seconded by Jim. All in favor? Carried. First application is consent application B17-25S. The owner is Frank Broganhill, and Curtis Broganhill is the agent. The legal description is Part Lot 2, Concession 7. The address is east of 661 Hearns Road in Sydney Ward. The purpose of the application is to sever a parcel of land which would create one new vacant lot. The severed parcel would have a frontage of 60 meters, a depth of 393.9 meters, and a total area of 3.9 hectares. The retained would have a frontage of 70.3 meters, a depth of 393.9 meters, and total area of 9.5 hectares. Any comments or concerns from the public regarding this application? Hearing none. Any comments or concerns from the committee members?
I'll move the recommendation, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Jim, seconded by Doug.
Was it Dave?
Pardon?
Was it Dave?
I think Dave beat me.
Was it Dave?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw your hand up too.
He beat me. No big deal.
You won't get paid now, Doug.
Dave got it.
It was moved and seconded that application B17-25S by Frank Broganhill, Curtis Broganhill agent, to sever a parcel of land east of 661 Hearns Road, Part Lot 2, Concession 7 in the former township of Sydney, is hereby approved subject to the following conditions. 1, that a registered survey for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. 2, that a draft transfer for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. 3, that the tax account for the subject property be paid up to date. 4, that the severed lot be enlarged to demonstrate a minimum area of 0.5 hectares out of the MDS setback to the satisfaction of the city. 5, that a minor variance be in effect for the minimum distance separation setback pursuant to the Planning Act. And 6, that a parcel of land measuring 10 meters from the center line of the road along the frontage of the severed and retained lands along Hearns Road be conveyed for road widening purposes to the city at no cost to the satisfaction of Public Works. You gentlemen aware of those conditions? Okay. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. The next application is consent application B 18-25S. The owners are Thomas and Erica Wattam. The agent is RFA Planning Consultant Incorporated. The legal address is part lots 32 and 33, concession 3, and the address is 283 Filburn Road in Sydney Ward. The purpose of the application is to sever a parcel of land which would create one new developed lot. The application relates to a minor variance application A3-25S, which is being processed concurrently. The severed lot would have a frontage of 76.2 meters, a depth of 204.8 meters, and an area of 1.56 hectares. And the retained would have a frontage of 220.1 meters, a depth of 407.33 meters, and a total area of 14.34 hectares. Any comments or concerns from the public regarding this application? Sir?
Good evening. My name is Dale Egan. I'm a planner with RFA Planning Consultant. We are the agent for this application. I just want to say that we are in support of the staff recommendations and the conditions as outlined in the staff report.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or concerns from the committee members? I'm a mover and seconder. Moved by David, seconded by Paul. That application 18-25S by Thomas and Erica Wattam, RFA Consulting Incorporated, is the agent to sever a parcel of land at 283 Filburn Road, part lots 32 and 33, concession 3, in the former township of Sydney, is hereby approved, subject to the following conditions. 1, that a registered survey for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. 2, that a draft transfer for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. 3, that the tax account for the subject property be paid up to date. 4, that the minor variance be in effect for the severed lands pursuant to the Planning Act. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Now, this is the minor variance that goes along with this this property. It's application A3-25S. Thomas and Erica Wattam are the owners. And again, RFA Planning Consultant Incorporated is the agent. Lots 32 and 33, concession 3, 283 Filburn Road. And the purpose of the application is to permit a reduced minimum lot area of 1.56 hectares instead of the normally required 2. Any comments or concerns from the committee? Hearing none from the public. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Jim, seconded by Doug. That application A3-25S by Thomas and Erica Wattam, RFA Consulting or Planning Consultant Incorporated, is the agent at 283 Filburn Road, part lots 32 and 33, concession 3, in the former township of Sydney, is hereby approved to permit a reduced minimum lot area of 1.5 hectares instead of the normally required 2. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next application is B19-25S, consent application. The owner is 2601-645 Ontario Incorporated. Legal description is Part Lot 30, Concession 7. The address is 263 Marsh Hill Road in Sydney Township, or in Sydney Ward, I should say. The purpose of the application is to sever a parcel of land which would create one new vacant lot. The severed parcel would have a frontage of 51.7 meters, a depth of 73.8 meters, and total area of 1.4 hectares. And the retained would have a frontage of 63.8 meters, a depth of 226.4 meters, and total area of 1.5 hectares. Any comments or concerns from the public regarding this application? Are the owners here, by the way? No? Okay. We'll just discard this one then, I guess. Any comments or concerns from the committee members? Okay. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Doug, seconded by Paul. That application B19-25S by Ontario Company 2601645 to sever a parcel of land at 263 Marsh Hill Road, Part Lot 30, Concession 7, in the former township of Sydney, is hereby approved subject to the following conditions. One, that a registered survey for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. Two, that a draft transfer for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. Three, that the tax account for the subject property be paid up to date. Four, that a zoning bylaw amendment be in effect for the severed and retained lands pursuant to the Planning Act. And five, that parcels of land measuring 10 meters from the center line of the road along the frontage of the severed and retained lands along Factory Road be conveyed for road widening purposes to the city at no cost to the satisfaction of Public Works. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And this one's just around the corner from there. It's consent application B20-25S. Maple Construction and Development Company is the owner. Legal description is Part Lot 30, Concession 7. The address is 233 Marsh Hill Road in Sydney Ward. And the purpose of the application is to sever a parcel of land for lot addition purposes, which would add land to the adjoining lot. The severed portion would have no frontage, a depth of 52.5 meters by 103.8 meters, and total area of 0.5 hectares. And the retained would have a frontage of 64.8 meters, a depth of 234.9 meters, and total area of 1.7 hectares. Pardon me. All in favor? Oh, did I get a mover and a seconder?
You haven't even asked for
I didn't even ask for,
You're just in a hurry.
eh?
You're in a hurry.
You got a date?
Any comments or concerns from the public regarding this application? Sorry. You'd think I'd be good at this after a while. But any comments or concerns from the committee members? Any, I need a mover. And a seconder.
I'll second it.
Thank you. It's moved and seconded that application B20-25S by Maple Construction and Development to sever a parcel of land for lot addition purposes at 233 Marsh Hill Road, Part Lot 30, Concession 7, in the former township of Sydney is hereby approved, subject to the following conditions. One, that a registered survey for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. Two, that a draft transfer for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. Three, that tax account for the subject property be paid up to date. Four, that the severed parcel be deeded as a lot addition to the recipient property, and the applicant's lawyer submit an undertaking to register consolidation on title, giving effect to the lot addition. And five, that the applicant's lawyer submit a legal opinion verifying that the lot addition lands will merge on title with the recipient parcel under the Planning Act. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next application is a minor variance application, A-25T. The owner is Darlene Stripe. The legal description is Lot 7, Registered Plan 824. Civic address is 13 Weeks Avenue in Trenton Ward. And the purpose of the application is to permit the existing reduced interior side yard setback for the dwelling of 1.1 meters instead of the normally required 1.2. Rear yard setback for the dwelling of 1.84 meters instead of the normally required 6 meters. And required setback between the dwelling and the pool of 0.4 meters instead of the normally required 1.5 meters. Any comments or concerns from the public regarding this application? Is the owner here? Yeah, okay, thank you. Any comments or concerns from the committee members? Mover in a second, or
I can move it.
moved by Jim, seconded by Doug? That application A4-25T by Darlene Stripe at 13 Weeks Avenue, Lot 7, Registered Plan 824, in the former city of Trenton is hereby approved to permit the existing reduced interior side yard setback for the dwelling of 1.1 meters instead of the normally required 1.2 meters. Reduced rear yard setback for the dwelling of 1.84 meters instead of the normally required 6 meters, and a reduced setback between the dwelling and the pool of 0.4 meters instead of the normally required 1.5 meters. And one condition that the existing deck be modified to meet the minimum 1.2 meters setback to the satisfaction of the city. Now that was already done, was it not? It appeared that it was. Okay. Mover or seconder? Oh, we already did that, see? All in favor? Carried, thank you. I'm battling a cold, I don't know if you can tell that or not, but it has a tendency to mess up my head. As well as my voice. Next application is consent application B21-25S. John David Andrew Stonehouse and Jody Don Stonehouse. The agent is Devin Mitz. Legal description is Part Lot 6, Concession 7. The address is 416 Glen Ross Road in Sydney Ward. Background on this. In accordance with Section 50-20 of the Planning Act, properties that were created through consent process do not merge on title with adjoining land, which is usually the desired effect of a consent application. However, sometimes there is a desire to intentionally allow lands to merge on title, such as to enable lot additions to merge on title with the recipient lands. In the past, the only way to facilitate lot additions to merge on title with lots created by consent was to convey a strip of land from the recipient parcel to the municipality as road widening in order to make the property different from what was created through the consent process. This was a messy way to enable the intended lot addition to merge on title with the benefiting lot. In 2022, Bill 276 amendments to the Planning Act enabled municipalities to issue certificates of cancellation. The effect of the cancellation certificate is that from the time of registration on title, the parcel is no longer considered to have been conveyed with an unstipulated consent, and Section 50-12 of the Planning Act no longer applies to the parcel. It allows the merger of the previously conveyed property with any abutting land that the owner might own. The consent application B 18-24S was approved by the Committee of Adjustment on May the 9th, 2024, to add a lot addition to the subject property at 416 Glen Ross Road. The property at 416 Glen Ross Road was created through a consent application in 1972. Therefore, the lot addition lands of application B 18-24S would not automatically merge with the subject property. An application has therefore been submitted for a certificate of cancellation. Any comments or concerns from the public regarding this application? Lots of words, huh? Any comments or concerns from the committee members? This is the second one we've had fairly recently, so we should be getting.
As I mentioned to Anne Marie earlier, I'm glad that legislation came through because it was not one of my favorite things that would get done to people that they weren't aware of until lots of times they got their first tax bill or something and thinking they still had two separate pieces of property or whatever, and they really had no choice in the marriage, I'll put it that way. So yeah, I think this.
I know we've had some issues with
but there's some
inherited properties.
Yeah. So we got to clear up a few things that are still straggling, I guess. And so it's good that staff can do this, but it's still a little bit of an extra headache, I guess, we have to deal with.
Can I have a recommendation or a mover, seconder? Moved by Paul, seconded by Doug. That application B 21-25S by John David Andrew Stonehouse and Jody Don Stonehouse, Devon Mitts agent, granting a certificate of cancellation for the consent application at 416 Glen Ross Road, Part Lot 6, Concession 7 in the former township of Sydney is hereby approved. All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
The number we had, we got two.
Any other business to come before this committee? Hearing none. Have a motion to adjourn. Moved by David, seconded by Doug. All in favor? Thank you.
That's a question, isn't it?